Hi, this is my first-ish video that I'm putting out, so bear with me. I have something I'd like to talk about, and it's regarding self-protection. Self-protection is naturally our highest priority as living beings that want to keep living. It's built into our DNA. We strongly fear anything that could damage us or cause trauma of any kind. And obviously, mostly that's a good thing. It keeps us safe. But for a lot of us, we can unconsciously take it to an extreme. And it can become our worst enemy. It will keep us stagnant and unable to see ourselves truthfully. We'll be closed off to connection and stuck in the same mindsets that we were conditioned into instead of getting into that next evolution of who we could be. So in order to grow, we have to shed our old skin and grow a new one. We have to be able to be vulnerable. We have to see our own part in the roles we play in our life and take accountability for all that we are, including the parts of us that we'd rather ignore. When you have toxic situations in your life or toxic relationships, it's your first instinct to always blame the other and to have a victim mentality. But the first step to mental, spiritual, emotional growth as a human being is to be able to recognize that you are equally playing into that toxic role. That person wouldn't be able to be in a relationship with you if you weren't allowing it and if you weren't subconsciously even drawn to it. So many people are conditioned to think that vulnerability is a weakness. Showing your belly is asking to be stabbed. But actually showing that you are strong enough to be vulnerable subconsciously tells other people that you're really strong and you have a leg up on them. Even if they tried to hurt you, it wouldn't work. It's powerful because someone who's able to see their truth, accept it, and share it, even if it doesn't paint them to be perfect, that means that they know they aren't perfect. They know they have flaws. They've seen those flaws. They've accepted them. They're willing to work on them. And they still love themselves despite those flaws. So many humans live their life closed off, afraid to let someone see their imperfections, putting the responsibility of love into other people's hands. And we choose these people based on our subconscious programming, which isn't always aligned with who we really want to be and should be. So often, and I used to do this for sure, we put the responsibility of love into the hands of people we have chosen to love us, whether that's good or bad. And we basically say, hey, here's my heart. I expect you to love me unconditionally because I can't. I can't love myself unconditionally. So it's very important that you love me unconditionally. And that's not a healthy dynamic whatsoever. And that pushes people away. So when in conflict with others, it is our first instinct to get embarrassed and angry and protective of ourselves. Even when we're wrong, we don't want to see it and we don't want to accept our flaws. It's self-protection. It's me first. If there's something wrong with me, it feels threatening. So we always project our own wrongs outward into the world onto others. The first and most crucial step to spiritual, mental, emotional growth is allowing yourself to accept that you are deeply flawed just like everyone else. Start to be curious about the ways that you could be better. Stop blaming everyone else for the things that you don't like about yourself and begin to ask yourself, why? What are those things you don't like about yourself? And then look around at your life and people that you look up to in your life, people that you might be jealous or envious of. And really start to question why you're jealous and envious of them. What traits do they have that you wish you had? Like, what is it about them that makes you jealous? And take those things and start embodying them. Start becoming those things so that you don't have to be jealous because you're just as capable of being those things as they are. So what traits do you like in other people? Start to write those down, start to study them, and start to embody them. Just on the other hand, what traits do you hate in other people? What are your biggest pet peeves? What do you absolutely can't stand in other people? The hard thing to do after that is look at yourself and realize that you have those traits. That's why you don't like them. They're pieces of you that you don't like about yourself. So you have to turn your focus inward and ask yourself if you have those traits and really accept that you do. That's the first step, is always to accept. Can't live in denial if you want to change. We will do anything to reflect our own badness outward as to not have to face it. It feels like survival. Sometimes it's too scary or difficult to turn inward and see your own worst enemy. How are you supposed to deal with that kind of pain? Right? I mean, that's what keeps most people stagnant and not growing and not becoming the people they want to be, and it keeps them from achieving their dreams. So that, like, facing that pain can completely change your life. And once you face it and you get through it, you will experience so much beauty and confidence and just up-leveling. And the up-leveling never ends. That's what I'm discovering, is you can go through this so many times, and no matter how many times you up-level yourself and you face what you don't like about yourself and you fix it, there's always going to be more, and that's not a bad thing. The growth is infinite. You can just keep going. That's exciting. So no matter what you've been through in the past, it's time to get vulnerable with yourself first. I'm not saying like get vulnerable with everyone else yet. I'm saying you have to bring down the self-protection a little bit so that you can face your own reality with yourself. Because everything starts with you. So who do you want to be, and what blockages are keeping you from becoming that person? That's step one. Thank you for listening.